Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, anime, TV shows, kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. And today we are talking about Idubbz' recent apology, as well as Moist Critical's strange reaction to an apology that was not for him. So if you don't know who Idubbz is, which I will be referring to him as Ian because he's a grown man and I'm not calling him Idubbz, he really rose to fame in 2016 with his content cop videos on YouTubers like Tana Mojo, Jake Paul, and Leafy. The content cop videos were very critical of these creators' content as well as these creators' behavior online. Ian was very heavily doing this content between like 2015 and 2017 respectively, and then there was a short break until 2019 where I think he did his very last one on Leafy. As of today, all of those videos are now unlisted following the release of his recent apology video. On Friday, May 19th, Ian released a video titled "I Miss the Old Idubbz." In that video, Ian takes responsibility for the impact of the content he created at that time. And there were a lot of people trying to downplay it and act like his video didn't impact anything. And now, I want to be clear that no one is acting like Ian Idubbz created racism. No one's living in that fantasy world. No one's also believing that he created like the toxicity of the internet. But he did indoctrinate another generation of mostly white boys into this type of bigotry, this type of hate speech is fine type of mentality. And he played a significant role in it. Because if you ever were arguing with somebody that was on that side of the internet, they were always regurgitating Idubbz talking points. He played a crucial role in indoctrinating them and making them believe that this type of attitude and this type of mentality was perfectly fine. So it's very strange to me that y'all are trying to rewrite history like we were all not there. That was not so long ago that you can be hazy on the facts. No, he played a huge role in it. If you met a racist white boy, 9 times out of 10 he was an Idubbz fan or like a Joji fan. They go together real fucking bad. So it's like, there's a correlation. He also admits to being insecure in his abilities to be funny and his abilities to entertain an audience. And that is why he went with the whole shock humor thing. Because that's pretty much, like, shock humor is pretty much like the lowest tier of comedy. All it is just saying slurs and saying mean, nasty things in order to just kind of catch people off guard. But there's no really like nuance or thought into that form of comedy. It's stuff that children do. Like, children really enjoy shock value humor. That is why when people like Ian, he had a very young fan base. Because grown people don't find you just spewing hate and slurs funny. Like, you just saying the N-word consistently over and over and over again as a white person. That don't really move adults the way it moves a child. A child finds it entertaining. It's shocking. It's very fast-paced. It hits you really quickly, and children love that. That humor works on them, and it's such low-hanging fruit. That's why, like, I mean, again, like, I feel like I've said this in a previous video that, like, I'm from Jersey. We roast people. So when you only hit fat phobia, colorism, shit like that, you're not actually funny to me and you can't roast. Because that's the easy shit to hit about somebody. It's so obvious. It's the most obvious thing you can do. And I just find it so boring and just like, it don't move me. I don't find you funny. That's why, like, if you're arguing with a fat person and you're like, you fat bitches, it's like, I mean, we can clearly tell this person's fat. Do you have anything else? No, that's all you got. Cool. Because you ain't built for this type of shit. That's why it's all you can hit. Ian also states that his original content was made with good intent. He really wanted to call out these creators. He really wanted to, I assume, have a dialogue or conversation around the usage of slurs. I believe that he believes his content was made with good intentions. But it's just very hard for me to look at you as a cisgendered, able-bodied white man and hear you say that the rest of us need to get over slurs. That we need tougher skin, that we just need to let that shit roll off our backs. It's very annoying to me the way that black and brown people, we just have to have tough skin. That we should just not let casual or not casual racism go past us. It's so interesting that we are the groups of people that just gotta be able to take a joke. Take a joke. It's funny. I know I just called you like a slur, but like, bitch, laugh. Why are you so mad? Why are you so sensitive? Like, I believe that white people believe that racism is in the past. It was such a long time ago, when it honestly was not. Because when you think about it, right? Ruby Bridges is still alive. Rosa Parks has only recently died. There are still several members of the Black Panther Party incarcerated. There are several people in Congress, I would say almost half of Congress, maybe even more, who at one point in time in their lives went to a segregated school. Okay? This is not all that was 100 years ago. No. That happened in many people's lifetimes. There are still people today that remember Jim Crow. And I don't know if it's because all the pictures from back then are black and white and you just believe that was 200 years ago, but that's not how that works. There are still people, again, because I don't know what it is like to be white, so I don't know what it's like to live in that level of delusion. Okay? I don't know what it's like to just be like, it was just such a long time ago. Like, what are you mad about? There are still black people on this earth whose birth certificates don't say black, doesn't say African American, it says Negro. Ian also mentions the fact that he, at the time, he didn't feel like he was responsible for the things that his audience did, aka, you know, after making a content video, they would go and harass the people the videos were about, or again, them antagonizing black and brown people on the internet, telling us to get over slurs. And just racism was 1,000 years ago, you should move on. Which is because he is not the only content creator that is like this, or just like celebrities as well, who I feel like they don't quite understand, like, the type of audience you garner says a lot about you. If you have a fan base and like 99% of them are Nazis, what does that say about you in the content that you're making? You should be reevaluating if you have been able to attract so many awful and toxic people. There is something about you that they see themselves in. And you need to correct that, okay? You need to do something about that. I would say that Ian's apology was decent. I feel like maybe the only reason why Ian's apology has even been able to go over even slightly well is because there has seemingly been a change in behavior, which is not normally what we get with apology videos. Usually they fuck up, they say sorry, and they don't change. But we have seen him kind of distance himself from his old content, distance himself from that side of the internet, and has moved in a far more positive direction. And then we got an apology. Now, whether or not the apology is genuine, I don't know. Because I do believe he is embarrassed of who he used to be. And I do believe that he is sorry for the culture he's helped cultivate. But to me, it's like, thank you for apologizing, but what has happened has already happened, and the people who've had to suffer have already suffered through it. And I don't know, I really don't, because I respect the ability to look back at who you used to be and be like, that's not the person I am anymore, and I'm truly sorry for that. But again, the impact was huge, and I know at the time he didn't, at least what he is saying, that was not his intention to be a stepping stone to the alt-right, but the path to hell is paved with good intentions. So once this apology video dropped, the entire YouTube community was ablaze. Okay, it didn't matter what side of the corner you was. I feel like none of us were expecting a apology video. The way that Ian was moving, I think he probably could have continued on and never addressed this ever again, because it really didn't seem like anyone was clamoring to talk to him about it or hear what he had to say about who he used to be. Because I feel like he very like masterfully just detached himself from who he used to be and just kind of moved in a new direction, though it was alienating his like core fan base, the racist ones. He just kind of went and said, well, I'm doing something different now. But so every commentator has something to say, and okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. This whole section is going to be completely biased because I hate Moist Critical and I've been preying on this man's downfall for years. Okay, this is my moment. As someone who is a proud hater, when I saw his video and I saw that man getting ate up, I prayed for times like that. I prayed for them. And this is my fucking moment. I'm so sorry. If you wanted my fair, normally unbiased self, you ain't getting it with this one. I hate this man. With every fiber of my being, I dislike him. And this right here's my fucking moment. I'm so sorry. So Moist Critical, aka Charlie, is a YouTube commentator. He didn't always used to be a commentator. He used to make gaming content, and then he just kind of fell into the whole commentary sphere. Charlie does my least favorite style of commentating, which is like a reaction style of commentating. It's very much so like your thoughts and opinions in the moment, which I think is so fucking stupid. When it comes to commentary content, I prefer well thought, well read, well researched thoughts and opinions. And that is not the type of content that Charlie makes. There's not a point in time where I've seen his take on a topic and I felt like this man did his research. I would argue that Charlie is the king of tepid takes. Very surface level. There's never any real shaking of the table. I feel like he looks on the internet, he sees everyone's opinions on it, and he sides with the most popular side and he regurgitates that. I feel like Charlie does not stand for anything. I do not believe that Charlie has any real solid opinions on fucking anything. He is the definition of a white man. Just really like of a modern white man where like racism bad, sexism bad, pay workers fairly. That's pretty much it. Like he does not ever get to the meat and potatoes of a situation he's commentating. And that is why Charlie has been able to be successful the way he is, because he doesn't have any strong opinions. He has the opinions that everyone else has, but he doesn't really ever shake the table. And I feel like to be a successful commentator, you need to rub people the wrong way. You need to be having these uncomfortable conversations so people can get less uncomfortable with it. Charlie is just, in my opinion, too well liked from both sides. And if you're doing your job as a commentator, you should not be well liked from both sides. That means you're not saying anything. Charlie has never had a strong stance in anything until this day with this apology video. This is the most true, out of everything he's ever said, this is the first time I can see who Charlie is as an actual person with his reaction to this apology. Everything else he's done, he has never, you do not know this man's true values when you look at any of his old content. Because he walks the line. He purposefully just says base level shit. And he can do it because he is a white man. Because if a white man gets on camera, wags his finger and goes racism bad, you should allow women to get abortions, he gets millions of views. Because you cannot tell me that any thought or opinion that Charlie has ever had has been well researched outside of reading tweets. Nothing about this man tells me he's read anything peer reviewed. Off the bat, in Charlie's video. He states the fact that Ian really had no reason to apologize, and that he's probably only apologizing because the state of the internet has changed, but there was nothing wrong with his original content. It was just edgy. And that at the time, 2015, 2016, you were able to say those things and everyone was fine with it. It is so insane to watch him rewrite history. Like, it's actually kind of batshit because 2016 was just a couple years ago. And listen, I know Summer 16 was a movie. And maybe that's why you don't actually remember what happened that year, because you was probably drunk out your mind like the rest of us was. Because listen, Summer 16, graduated high school, going into my freshman year of college, 2016 was a movie. I ain't gonna hold you. It was a great year. It was a great year. In real life, not on the fucking internet. Because besides Summer 16, when I think of the year 2016, I think of the year that Black Lives Matter was at its fucking peak. At its fucking peak. That was the year that it felt like every other week a new video of a black person getting murdered by the police was coming out. 2016 was the year before the next presidential election with Donald Trump in it. 2016 was probably in the 21st century top 5 most political years. That was one of the first times I really got into politics, and I really was like having, especially in college, sitting in a room full of people from different walks of life talking about race relations. 2016 was the year of the black content creators who were commentating about racial issues. I am lost. Again, maybe 2016 was a different year for white men, but for those of us with this, it was a battleground. We was fighting every single day in 2016. That's why I'm confused about everything. Like 2016 was like this wild, wild west of the internet, and it wasn't. Now, if you want to talk about like 2008 to 2012, 13, absolutely. You could say whatever the fuck you want on the internet back then. But 2016, no. People was not moving like that in 2016. You are fucking insane. If you truly believe that like we were not having real conversations in 2016, we absolutely was. That's when all these conversations fucking started in 2016. Charlie had the absolute goal to say none of Idubbz' original content was hurtful or damaging. I really fucking hate this man. It is the way that no one is saying, right, that like Idubbz himself committed hundreds of hate crimes. His content emboldened a lot of people to do it for him. Okay? If you were on the internet when Idubbz was making content, the shit that was said to you was disgusting. And also, it didn't even matter what you were talking about. You could just be a black person existing and you were getting called slurs for just being black in a space. That's how his fans were moving. And I feel like it is such bullshit to act like Idubbz' content and his fan base did not ruin the formative years of hundreds of young black kids. Because the thing is, right, because again, Charlie, he is kind of old. He's older than me, right? We would never be in high school at the same time. So maybe you don't really understand technology, how it works in school. But these kids would be on the internet harassing black and brown people, queer people, disabled people, saying some of the most abhorrent and disgusting shit. Then these same white kids would go to school and harass the black and brown children at their school. So the kids, okay? I feel like a lot of people believe internet shit just stops at the internet, but it doesn't. It follows you into real life. And that is what was happening to black and brown children. They were dealing with, especially if they went to predominantly white schools, and there was like 10% or even less black kids and other races of children. They were getting harassed in school by Idubbz fans. and then they would go home, go on the internet, and be harassed by them there. Because I fully remember like people making hate pages for people, or people having finstas constantly berating and attacking people. Now, before you say log out, log out, log out, we're talking about fucking children. We see grown people not being able to handle harassment on the internet, and you expect someone whose frontal lobe hasn't fully formed to be able to take it. Be fucking serious. Okay? Children now have no safe space. They're being attacked at school, they're being attacked on the internet. It's from all angles, and it's consistent 24/7. And Idubbz content indoctrinated those people, gave them a stepping stone to harass people the way they have. It is so weird that Charlie's acting like this when there have been several people on the internet who admitted to having a racist phase. Yes, a racist phase. A phase where they were just being fucking racist. It's actually very common. It's sickening, but it's very fucking common. So what's happening, Charlie? What's happening? There are people who are admitting there was points in time in their lives they were fucking racist. And you think the racism just stopped on the internet? No. Now, for some people, they're only big and bad on the internet, but there are people who are awful in all sectors of life. Social media and real life. There's something inherently insidious of watching a white man dissect an apology that is not for him, is not about him. This has nothing to do with you, and I don't know why he just physically can't fathom that not all situations center you. This is Ian's apology was for the black, brown, and queer people he hurt with his content. The people who, because of him and the script he created for his fan base, allowed them to attack these communities of people, to harass them, to call them slurs. And Charlie's like, none of this happened. How would you know? How would you know? No one on the internet would be calling you an N-word, would be calling you any type of slur for a person of color. Think a little bit. I feel like this video really showed Charlie's true character. I feel like he's definitely been able to mask it again with his very tepid takes. But again, this was the first time we got a lot from him. We saw a lot of who Charlie really is because of this video. Because why do you have such strong opinions about another man apologizing? Why do you have so much happening in here? Why is that? Because you identify, I don't know if you identify with Idubbz or maybe his fans, something there resonated with you. And this apology felt like a slap in the face. And again, as someone, a staunch hater of Moist Criticals, watching this man be dragged has been delicious. Because this is a man who does not stand for shit. Very base level, very Florida white man. He's the definition of that. And I've never understood why people have gone up for him. I've never understood why when Philip DeFranco is making a video, he pulls clips from him. Because he's truly never saying anything. Nothing. He's saying the obvious things in this situation. Nothing more, nothing less. And I feel like this situation was very eye-opening for a lot of people who do like Moist Criticals. Let's keep it up. Let's keep hating him. Let's get this nigga the fuck up out of here. I'm sorry. I want him gone. Like yesterday. Let's do something about that. But yeah, that's it for me. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on the whole situation? How do you personally feel if you are black, brown, or queer? How do you feel about Idubbz' apology? And also your thoughts and opinions on Moist Critical's, reaction to Idubbz' apology. And do you also believe it's insidious to be dissecting an apology that's not for you like I do? It's very crazy, concerning. But yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.